most Sunday.
Good evening, friends, and welcome to the Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living. And this is our Tuesday evening workshop, our Spiritual Mind Healing Workshop, our gathering of minds and hearts to just spend a little time together in conscious communion. And so, as we are settling in from the activities of the day, I'm inviting you to join me just for a few moments for an opening affirmative prayer and for just a few moments of quiet meditation. So let's just take a deep breath in and exhale. And breathe in again, just allowing the life-giving air to fill every nook and cranny of your lungs. And exhale. And as we breathe in and exhale, inhale and exhale, let us just feel with every breath out, our body is becoming relaxed, at peace and at ease. As we become fully present in this place, feel yourself seated on the chair, and just allow the thoughts just pass by, not holding on to any of them, allowing them to pass. And so just allow for the next minute or so, just allow yourselves time and the space to just relax quietly in your chairs, allowing the activities and the experiences of the day to just flow out with every exhalation, with every breath out. Feel all the cares of the day also dissipating into nothingness. And just allow the silence to envelop you, wrap itself around you, and bring its beautiful peace. As we once again become conscious of our breath, let us just know together that every breath in is a life-giving presence and power of God. Every breath in is that which energizes the cell and fiber of our being. And so in this moment, we become aware of the life-giving energy, presence, and the power of God enveloping us, inspiring us, blessing us, expressing in and through and as each one of us here. And so I'm knowing that this evening's activity we call a spiritual mind healing service is an activity in the divine consciousness of all that is. I know that every word spoken, every question asked, every answer given is coming from that infinite wellspring of God's wisdom and God's intelligence. And so I just allow myself to be that vehicle of His expression. And I know that everyone, the sound of my voice, and everyone who is open and receptive to these words, wherever they may be, is uplifted and inspired and blessed. So we are truly grateful for this divine moment. As we continue to breathe in and breathe out, we know that we are expressing the rhythm of God, love of God, always of God. So in this consciousness, I release my word and just know that it is accomplished as this evening's time together. And I truly give thanks now, as I know with all my heart that this is so, and so it joyfully is. Okay, so welcome everyone. It is a pleasure to have you here with us this evening at our Spiritual Mind Healing service. And I am Sandra Cooper, and I'm going to just share a few ideas with you this evening. So today is the last day of February. And as we wrap up the Love Month, I thought I would share a few words this evening about love in the dark. Now, before your mind and imagination begin to wander, let me ease your sensibilities by saying that it is not about hot, steamy sex in a dark room. Instead, what I'm going to focus on is how we can easily choose to turn on the light of love, which is guaranteed to eliminate the darkness of circumstances and conditions that often threaten to overwhelm us. Friends, we know that love is the greatest avenue of divine expression. We know that God is love, and we know that love is more powerful than the waves of the ocean and the winds of the sky. We know that God and the power of love can move mountains. We believe, of course, as we said, that God is love, and we are made in the image and likeness of God. And therefore, we too are that love beautifully expressing for you, for me, for every one of us here, and for every person on the planet. In fact, every expression is God in its fullest manifestation. And for many of us, including myself, it's really a little challenging sometimes to define love. So I thought I'd go back to 1 Corinthians 13. That is such a commonly known verse of scripture, which presents a way of being that provides, for me at least, a very clear picture of what love is or should be and what it is not. In a nutshell, it says that love is patient, love is kind, it doesn't envy, it doesn't boast, it is not proud. It is not rude, it is not self-seeking, and it is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. It it's like it don't hold you up in its craw. There's no craw in love. Love doesn't delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. And it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and it never fails. So when we listen to those words and listen to that language, we are looking at some very high core values and behaviors, which inspire me certainly to really stretch myself when life is turning me and my world upside down and enveloping me with the darkness of despair. Now, the metaphor of darkness describes conditions that are likely to distract us from the truth of who we are. It saps our energy and threatens to undermine our well-being. I mean, we might be overwhelmed by the darkness when, for example, there's a loss of a loved one, when a relationship ends painfully, when there is unsettling or life-threatening diagnoses, when there is conflict and dissent between friends or co-workers or any two persons together, when one feels anxious or worried about the future, when life produces what appears to be roadblocks that seem to thwart our efforts to achieve our goals, when we feel sometimes broken and popped down, when there is a financial loss or a sense of not enoughness. Now, all of the above circumstances will stir up feelings of doubt, fear, despair, anger, sometimes jealousy, resentment, etc., which are clear symptoms of being in the dark. So consider now when you find yourself in the proverbial valley of the shadow, you have a choice. You can stay there, floundering in worry and fear, or you can turn on the light of the indwelling power of love, which immediately dissipates all darkness. Remember that darkness cannot thrive in the light. So consider that when you spend time wallowing in the misery and beating yourself up for poor choices and decisions, you are living in the dark. When you deprive yourself of something that might bring you pleasure or contribute to your growth, you are living in the dark. When you take on busyness, busy, trying to complete multiple tasks at a time, and don't get enough sleep and don't make time for friends and loved ones, you are living in the dark. It is when you live from love that you shine the light of wisdom, peace, confidence, self-respect, understanding, and forgiveness on all of these eventualities. And it's when you do that that you're able to dispel any sense of self-limitation or separation. Sorry, folks, I have lost my, 1 second. I can't begin to tell you what has happened just now. I have my message up on my screen, and I think I switched it a little too hard and it just went away, but I found it back. I took a deep breath and said, Spirit in charge, and it came back up. So, hey, all right, I'll be careful how I touch it, maybe because I'm operating in the dark, so one has to be careful what and where one touches in the dark. So we're talking about when you take on busyness, when you try to complete multiple tasks at a time, when you don't get enough sleep or you don't make time for friends and loved ones. And that's when, when that happens, we're living in the dark. When we allow the news, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news. And when I just listen to people talking about and making predictions about what's likely to happen to the world because of the politics and stuff that is going on, it can seem to be very, very scary. And so we really have to be careful and know that this type of news, and when we allow it to embed itself into us, we're living in the dark. And so we have to be very, very careful about how we allow the external world to affect us. Okay, so I think about my son as a blind man. And I've observed him learning to maneuver in the dark because his world is dark. One of the things he tells me, Mommy, I go to bed at night and I dream in Technicolor. I see people, I see faces, I am in places that I remember, and everything is brightly and vividly colored and three-dimensional. And then I wake up and it's dark. But the amazing thing about that darkness, I mean, even although physically, sometimes he bumps into things, and neither my housekeeper, Cynthia, and I, we dare not move his things. But I've watched him adjust and evolve as a blind man. And I've watched him settle into how he expresses his craft. He's become a reviewer of people's new albums. He has all kinds of connections with people on the US West Coast and has earned money from some of his ventures and activities. And his phone is like a wonderful light in the world of his darkness. The accessibility features that his phone has allows him to read, to write, to get access to any information that's available. And interestingly, Kevin is reading more now that when he, as a blind man, than when he had sight. Thank God to Audible material. So we have to learn to, in the world where, in Kevin's case, there's a real world of darkness that he's living in. In the case of most of the rest of us, the darkness is a darkness that is self-imposed based on how we interpret the circumstances that are taking place in our lives. So just some of the things we can do to make sure that we have the kind of life that sheds great light. The first thing is that we have to make time for love. So we want to have love shining in the dark places in our lives. And so on, we have to make time. Love itself, even though it exists and it is something that cannot be destroyed, it requires nurturing and it requires space in which to flourish. So we need to create space in our heart, and we do that through forgiveness. We have to find it in our heart to release the blame and the shame from the past, as well as any feeling of anger and resentment we might have against anyone. We need to find time to spend with our loved ones, to set aside the griping and the complaining. When we make time for love, friends, we allow spirit to permeate our vitality. And it brings that sense of joy and richness and beauty back into our lives, or to just shine its light on that which already exists. When we have love going on, anything is possible. Our self-respect will soar, and we will attract more love. Our love energy heightens our connectedness, and it makes us more attractive. I mean, it doesn't have to be an experience with a partner, with a romantic interest, but just that sense of self-love, that sense of knowing that you are expressing as God's love, makes us all more attractive. So we are going to attract friends. We're going to attract business opportunities for full self-expression, and very likely we'll attract someone into our lives at a romantic level as well. So we need to abandon ourselves to faith. So a question that I saw in this month's Science of Mind magazine, and the question goes like this: do you believe in the validity of the science of mind? Do you believe in it with such commitment and conviction that you are ready to apply the practice in a consciously creative way? That is my dharma, to spread the practical application of this teaching we call the science of mind, because I have lived the experience of the value of this teaching. It has affected my life in so many wonderful ways. I'm not going to go into them this evening, but to ask yourself those questions: do you really, really believe in the validity of the science of mind? And you believe in it with such commitment and conviction that you're able to apply it as a practice in a consciously creative way. So another thing we can do to nurture love in our lives is to be present to the thoughts that we are watering. If we can arrive at the assurance that when our thought is changed, something good will happen, we will be on the right track. So, Ernest Holmes says, change your thinking, change your life. And if your thoughts are generating worry and fear and doubt, then you have to change those thoughts. So we have, and when we change those thoughts to something more positive, we will have the courage to navigate anything that is going on in our lives. And we begin to shed light on the darkness. Ernest Holmes says, if we behold beauty instead of ugliness, then beauty will appear. If we persist in seeing the true rather than the false, then that which is true will appear. Let us then, friends, cease weeping over the shortcomings and the mistakes and the evils of our yesterdays. My ex-husband used to talk about what used to was can't are. I mean, as a person who loved English, I tried to figure it out, but up to this day, I haven't. And so I've just left it alone. That makes sense. What used to was can't are. The past is done. And so we need to be able to just release the circumstances of yesterday and to just steadfastly behold the face of the great and divine reality that is just present for us, that which we know as God. So let us resolve to walk in the light where there is no darkness. We know that Spirit invites us. We need to take time and get away from the pressures of conditions. Go stand outside and look at the sunset. There's some beautiful pictures that come up on my computer as a screensaver, and they're just so, I just fascinate myself just looking at them. Right? Find circumstances that will bring your heart joy. Okay. My wonderful friend, Dr. Raymond Anderson, says, the size of the darkness does not matter. What matters is that you enter the darkness with your light and watch the darkness fade. So it doesn't matter, Spirit doesn't know big or small. So no matter how overwhelming the situation might appear to you, just release it. We need to let love and the superpower of curiosity shine the light of possibility to determine the way that we must go and the choices that we must make. So I want to close with a little Buddhist prayer. And in the circumstance where maybe you're experiencing someone else going through their own experience of darkness. So therefore, the darkness is not really your own, but you see somebody else going through a particular challenge. Just hold them in your heart and whisper the words of this Buddhist prayer. And it says, and I quote, "May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy. Namaste." Okay, so I really, as we spoke, I wanted to, we know that the darkness can creep upon us very easily and almost unconsciously. My experience is that Science of Mind has to be a very deliberate Are you hearing me, Vance? I lost connectivity for a while. Everybody back on now? Okay. Yeah, so the question, Vance, let me know if you're hearing me. Or you can raise your hands, anybody, the rest of you guys, if you're hearing me. Because I know I lost connectivity just now. Yes, thanks, Carol. Yeah, so the question is, when you feel like the darkness creeping into your existence, what do you do? What kind of light do you shed? What do you do to eliminate that darkness? You can write in the chat or open your mics and share.
I meditate.
Reverend Michael, good evening. How are you?
Hi, wonderful. I meditate.
I say you meditate.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that. Anybody else? What do you do? Go into the chat. I'm not calling for you. Oh, I'm on a Zoom call one. Okay. Okay, Carol, you say you take a few deep breaths and center yourself. Okay.
And I read creative thought. Sorry.
You read creative thought. Yeah, creative thought or Science of Mind magazine. Or back to the old, to bring up back the creative thought magazines.
I have about 24 creative thoughts, and every day I read one of the treatments and maybe one of the essays.
Okay. Yes, I can't find it in my heart to throw them out. Yeah.
I know.
Yes, Carol.
I understand.
What am I going to do with all of them?
Yes. Yeah. Just what I randomly choose one sometimes, and there's always something in it that speaks to me.
Yes, always.
Okay.
I found it interesting when you were talking, about some of the ways that the darkness, that it shows up that you're in the dark. Well, let me turn down this. And, I was, I had to say guilty, Your Honor, about the busyness, but it's either feast or famine. So there's a question of a need for balance.
Definitely.
And it's like, how the question for me is, how to regain that balance if I ever had it, because it always seems like I am just too busy.
Yes.
Sheena Robinson says she called on the spirit within to rain down, REIGN.
She calls on the spirit to do what?
Rain down.
To rain down. Oh.
REIGN, rain.
I see it both ways, I see it both ways, I remember, the experience following when Karen passed. I really, really felt in a funk for many reasons. I mean, Karen was my friend for a long time. We worked together. She does work for me. There was unfinished stuff that I have to sort out. And so there were a lot of reasons for me to feel very dark. But every time I think about the sweetness and the joy and the love that Karen brought to this planet, it really has helped with the healing. And not only that, but there's a peace that has come for me. But it took me going into the dark place for me to be able to rise and turn the light on. Dawn says she focuses on the breath and she deep breathes. Yes, totally get that, Dawn. And just to share a little bit just now, you know, this time of year is the time for my accounts. And I have had an arrangement with an accountant to do my, file my taxes for me. I write up the documents and then she audits them and helps with the filing. And we made an arrangement for her to come on Friday. Didn't come Friday, so we said Monday, and Monday didn't happen. So I said, okay, come today at 11 o'clock. She hasn't turned up till just now. Just, I'm at your gate, she says. And I'm not leaving. I'm not going to, you know, I can't leave. So there's a sense of, there's a part of me that says, how can I have somebody at my gate and not go and let them in? And there's another part of me that says, okay, if I have to go and find her tomorrow, I will, but I'm not getting up, and it's fine. And so the opportunity to shed light occurs all the time. And the question is, how do we allow what we know as truth to be the light that shines on it and not get into that specific space of worry and doubt?
And if I can add too, I think quite often we resist going into the dark place when it is necessary sometimes to go into the dark place in order to find the light.
True.
You know, and I suppose because we think of it as the, you know, the unknown, the place where you could lose yourself. But it isn't. You know, I remember someone telling me once that, you know, even if you go into what they call blue hole again, it's a
Lagoon.
no, it's not the
there's
lagoon.
another name. There's another
Oh.
name.
Yeah.
Almost like a
Yeah.
bottomless space.
Yeah, that, you know, you get sucked in.
Yeah.
And you panic because you're getting sucked in, but then the same way that you go in is the same way that you are actually channeled out.
Yes.
You know, so you don't stay there because you can't stay there. The same energy that takes you
Yeah.
in is the same energy that takes you out.
Yeah.
If you just stay with it, you
Mhm.
know. And I think it's the same thing with allowing yourself to go into that dark shadow place, but with the trust that there's a reason for you to go there, and there is a way for you to come out, and you'll be
Yes.
better to come out at the other end.
And the thing is to believe that that is so.
Yeah.
If we have what we call blinders on, and just stay wallowing in the dark, it doesn't help us in any way, you know.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have it as 22 or 23 minutes to the hour, and this is the time when we take your prayer requests. So you can write in the chat or just, you know, open your mic and share so we can. Okay.
Light and illumination for me, please, Sandy.
Light for you, Dawn.
And as well as love.
Okay. Any others at this time? Balance, Carol, okay.
Health
Mhm.
and perfection for all of us.
Perfection, that is what we are. Okay. So I'm going to do these affirmative prayers, and you might not have made the request, but if you feel that you would like to have this experience for yourself, just, you know, say, Spirit, me too. Okay, we're going to do light and illumination. And we're going to put, so light and illumination for Dawn, and we'll couple that with guidance for Daniel. Oh, hi, Leighton. Divine peace and guidance. So we'll include you as well. peace. Okay.
And for Sheena, March filled with the love, kindness, and happiness.
Love, kindness, and what?
Happiness.
Oh. For Sheena, right?
Yes.
All right, let's begin with love. Love, sorry, light and illumination with guidance. So let's just know together that there is one divine presence, that awesome one that is the light of the world, that shines its light, expressing as wisdom, as intelligence, as guidance. It is that which expresses fully and perfectly and joyfully at the center and circumference of our being. It is that which is the intelligence that keeps our body functioning perfectly. It is that which is the wisdom that guides us in our decision-making, in our activities on a day-to-day basis. It is that which reveals to us whatever we need to know in every single moment. And so we know that we are forever guided to make right choices that serve ourselves, that serve each other, that serve humanity, that allow us to rise to the highest and best of who we are. That light that allows us to discover our true nature as sons and daughters of the One. We know that in this light, there is no darkness, or any sense of doubt or fear, any concern about anything is dissipated by the light. We know that the divine presence is forever revealing itself to us in every condition, in every circumstance, in every situation. We know that we know exactly what we need to do. And we know the right persons show up in the right moments, bringing the right experience for us. We declare and know that all is well, no matter what. And so we just relax in this truth with a deep sense of gratitude for perfect outcomes, knowing that our experience is light, experience is divine guidance, our experience is knowing that the wisdom of God is forever revealing itself in, through, and as us in every single moment. I know this as a truth. And with deep gratitude in my heart, I release these words now, knowing that they are fully and perfectly manifest as our experience, the experience for Dawn and for Daniel and for Leighton. We truly are grateful that all of this is so now. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so we are now going to just embrace the idea of love for Dawn, for Sheena. We know that God is love. That is a love out of which each of us was created. That is a love that nestles in our hearts, that finds its way into every sweet relationship that we have. That is a love that allows us to exist on this plane of experience. That is a love that just blessed us when we came onto this planet. And that is a love that takes us through every activity and experience of this life plane. We know that that spirit of love allows us to see itself in our reflection. That spirit of love is that which heals any past experience of shame or guilt or doubt or fear, anything unlike the joy and beauty and sweetness of love. I'm knowing is healed. I know that this love is that which vibrates and emanates from the top of our heads to the soles of our feet and just vibrates out into our world, attracting to us beautiful life experiences of great relationships, of wonderful work opportunities that allow us to use our gifts and talents in ways that honor that which brought us into being. And I know that as we allow love to guide us, to be the way of our hearts and the heart of our way, that we are just lifted up on our way out of any sense of darkness, appreciating the lessons learned and rising into the possibility of our perfection and our wholeness. And so I know that love is that which guides us and nurtures us from this moment on. And we open ourselves to it. We allow it to whisper its sweet words in our ear that guide us as to what choices we should make, how we should act and react, how we should respond. And we know that it's God always speaking unto God, and all is well. And so we allow now love to be a wonderful blessing in our experience. And we know for sure that for Dawn and for Sheena, the sweetness of love and the kindness and the joy and the happiness that we know are theirs now flourishes. And so we truly are grateful to know that love is alive and well. We embrace it. We allow it to express unconditionally in, through, and as us, to touch, to heal, to bless, to inspire others who come into its radiance. And so knowing that this is a truth, it is with deep gratitude that I release my word and just know that it is fully, perfectly, and joyfully demonstrated as our experience now. I give thanks that all this is so, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Dawn. I know this is an affirmative prayer of balance. So we know that the guiding presence and power of God is that which prevails in and through and as every single one of us. It is that which is a foundation on which we build our lives. It is that which supports us and nurtures us in every circumstance. And so we declare and now know that the experience of balance is appropriate for her. I see balance between her work and her activities, work with every group that she's a part of, as she sings to the honor and glory of God, as she bakes those delicious pastries, as she serves our spiritual community. She does whatever she does with great joy and with great love. And she gives her all to each one of these things without shortchanging any of them. I know that whatever she needs to bring that balance in her life is provided. I know that all her resources are in place. I know that there is enough rest, there is enough relaxation, there is enough food, there is enough to drink, there is enough to provide for her in wonderful, lavish abundance. And so I'm knowing for Carol right now that the power and beauty of balance is hers. And she just allows herself to float in that experience of perfect balance, as her life is one beautiful experience of joy. And so knowing balance for Carol, I release these words with a sense of knowing that it is accomplished perfectly, easily, and effortlessly. I truly give thanks that all of this is so, and so it is. And now, peace for Leighton. Peace. Okay. There's someone called iPhone, and that person has also requested transcendent peace. So we declare that there is peace on earth. We know that this is a peace that passeth all understanding. This is a peace of God, and it indwells each and every one of us. And knowing that this presence of peace is that which expresses right here and now in the life of Leighton, in the light of that wonderful soul that is expressing, oh, I think it's Leighton who is iPhone. Yes. And so we know that this peace is that which manifests in every activity of Leighton's life. We know that whatever challenges that he might be experiencing, he embraces them with a sense of poise, with an ease and a calm reassurance that God is at the center, large and in charge. I know that in the midst of the waves, the Master spoke, be still. And so we declare, be still. And all the experience of turbulence just drifts away. And that calm assurance that God is present just fills our hearts and our consciousness. I know that the spirit of peace is that which expresses right here and now in our beautiful temple space that supports and surrounds our members, that strengthens our leadership, that provides the fuel for messages, that opens the doors of consciousness of every single person who crosses our threshold, opening each and every one of us to the joy and the sweetness and beauty of peace. I know that this is a peace that surrounds our beautiful island home, that expresses as every public servant, as every politician, as every leader, as every business person, as every man and woman on the face of our beautiful island. And that is that peace that allows for right choices and that opens the door for love to find its way, to heal any dissent and any sense of discord that might be present. I'm knowing that this is the sense of peace that just wafts around our beautiful planet Earth. It is that which finds itself into the hearts of the world leaders who and create that sense of peace which translates into decisions around relationships across borders. And so I declare that the peace that we seek is now expressing in and through and as each one of us. We allow that sense of peace to be our absolute focus. And we free ourselves from any distraction of any aspect of news. And we allow the sweetness of love, the sweetness of peace to heal and to bless. And for this, I am grateful. I'm grateful to know that on this beautiful planet Earth that has been given to us for safekeeping, that there's that within us that knows how to care for it. And we allow that care manifests in and through and across our wonderful planet Earth. And so we give thanks to know that peace is that healing presence that uplifts every one of us personally, collectively, and globally. We truly are grateful for the blessing of Spirit as we release our word now and give thanks for all the good that is ours by right of being. I give thanks now that all this is so, and so it is. Okay. Reverend Anne had asked perfection for all. Let us just know together that God is all there is, and that presence and power of God that we experience is that which is perfect, it is whole, it is complete. and it manifests itself in and through and as each one of us. And so we too embody that spirit of perfection that supersedes anything unlike itself. We know that we experience this perfection in our relationships. We experience it in the work that we do, in the projects that are taking place, in the decisions that we are to make. We see that perfection in our physical bodies as every cell and fiber is vibrating perfectly and working and functioning effortlessly and easily. We see the perfection operating in all the decisions we're making that serve our beautiful temple, that serve our country, that serve the world. And so we truly give thanks to know that everything is unfolding as it should, and that the perfection of God's presence is that which is guiding us and nurturing us on this plane. And for this, I'm grateful. I so release now these words and just know that the spirit of perfection truly prevails and all is well. I am grateful for this truth, and I just let it be so. And so it is. Okay.
It is.
Okay, friends, let me go now to, here we go. Okay, just a few notices, friends. Remember, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to join Reverend John for quiet moments in the garden. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 a.m. And as we go along, our classes, we have a series of classes on a Thursday evening. I think there is a class on a Wednesday evening, and also on a Thursday morning from 11 to 1. So please give us a call at 927-6145, or you might just get to the link classes.templeoflightcsl.org, and it will give you the details of the classes that are available at this time. And of course, on Thursday, we ask you to join us at 6 o'clock, last Thursday of every month. So no, 6 o'clock on a Thursday, except for the last Thursday of the month when we have Lifeline. But at 6, we have this wonderful experience to be lifted up by the transformative power of God's love, light, peace, and joy. 6 o'clock Thursday for prayer power. And this one is one to look forward to. This is on Thursday of this week. That's the 2nd of March. We have Basil Dawkins' play, No Hope for Hopi, at the Little Theatre. And we have a benefit for the temple. So we're inviting you to join us. This is on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. at the Little Theatre. I believe tickets are still available. You can call into our temple at 927-6145, or the Little Theatre. They will have tickets as well. And of course, our live stream continues. This Sunday, we have Reverend Ann. This is the first Sunday of March, and so Reverend Ann will be delivering the message, and I will be supporting her. So join us. Our live stream is at 9 a.m. or join us at the temple. We'd love to have you. And of course, next week, Tuesday, is another spiritual mind healing service. So we invite you to put that in your calendars as well. And finally, friends, if you feel moved to support our work here at the Temple of Light, our ministry, please feel free to offer a donation at donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And we are really, really grateful for your generosity and for helping us to become a beacon of light in the world. So now, as you are about to hit that donate button, giving from your heart and from that infinite wellspring of God's givingness, just put your hands on your hearts as you say with me, lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father, and so it is. And we will close off with the prayer of our center and the prayer of Jamaica, followed by a closing affirmative prayer. Let's do together our prayer of our center. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community, from which the Christ, peace, love, and joy emanate, to touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and the glory forever. And so it is. Now the prayer of Jamaica. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Friends, I'm so grateful that you chose to join us this evening. And I know that you're going to take with you as we close this evening that presence of love as that light that shines in every nook and cranny of your lives. And just allow that light to just lighten the experience that you are having in any way or in any form. It was my pleasure serving you this evening, and I look forward to seeing you at Temple on Sunday or online at another time. And so just join me now as we close. We truly are grateful for this opportunity to have gathered together in this Tuesday evening spiritual mind healing service. We truly are grateful for the opportunity to have shared our ideas and to have pooled our consciousness in just exploring the idea of letting our light shine, letting the light of love illuminate any sense of darkness that might seem to be overwhelming. We know that there is light and nothing but light. And so we allow that light to prevail in our lives. We know that as we open our hearts to the presence of God, we have access to the greatest light switch in the world. And so we turn it on at will, allowing it to illuminate anything other than its brilliance. And so we give thanks. We give thanks for the experience together. We give thanks in knowing that as we go our separate ways, we take with us this light. We take with us the fullness and richness of God's love. And we allow it to be the foundation on which we live and that which guides us in every circumstance. I release these words now with a sense of deep gratitude for their perfect fulfillment. And I truly rejoice that this is so. And so it is.
And so it is.
So God bless you all, and I will see
So
you.
it is.
God bless you all, Miss Sandra. Thank you.
So it is. So it
Fair
is
enough.
wonderful.
Fair enough, you.
Talk.